Welcome. This is going to be our lecture video for the week of August 17th through the 21st. Today we're going to be going over a lot of the orientation aspects of this course, and I'll be giving you a little bit of presentation about myself. Our learning objective for today is to get to know your teacher and understand the expectations of this course and why are we doing this. One is to get into a habit of sharing who we are, and two is to understand the format of this class. All right, I thought I would start things off by showing you a silly picture of your teacher. Here's me on my first day of school. Hopefully you were just as excited as this picture for your first days of school. Here's my whole family. So I've got my two parents still live in South Metro Denver. I've got a sister who's got a husband, and I've got a fiance. We're big Broncos family. We love going to the games. We're also big fans of the Avalanche, the Rockies, the Nuggets, pretty much everything Colorado. Watching a lot of Avalanche right now. Very into that team, hoping that they do well in the playoffs here. I went to Littleton High School, which is just up the road. Perhaps you even have friends from there. Here's a picture of me on graduation day. Funny story about this picture is that I've got the remnants of a mohawk from when my lacrosse team made the playoffs. We all did mohawks, so my mom was really excited that I looked like that for my graduation day pictures. And this is my good friend Gavin, who I still stay in touch with. While at Littleton, I played lacrosse and I ran cross country. I'm still very into lacrosse. I play on a men's league, and I play almost every Sunday. And also, I coach lacrosse. More on that in a bit. I like to hike mountains. Did a bunch of hiking over this past summer. If you ever go hike a 14er or something, tell me about it. I always like to hear which ones you guys have hiked. See if maybe we've hiked the same one. So I went to the University of Denver, and I loved their lacrosse team. I was a super fan while I was there. Here's me and my roommate. We traveled out to Indianapolis to watch a quarterfinal game. Really great game where DU came back in the second half and beat UNC. If you want to know more about that school, ask me about it. I always like to talk about DU. So this is my sister and her husband from Australia. They still live in Denver. I play tennis with Eugene often. It's really nice having them nearby for hanging out and for holidays and stuff. Here's a picture of my fiance, Callie. She is a pharmacist at a hospital downtown. She is right in there in the emergency department helping to manage medications, emergency medications that are being given out in what I can only imagine are very stressful situations. I'm very impressed by her. If you want to know more about the life of a pharmacist, ask me questions about that. I'll let you know what I know. I've taught for 6 years, so going into my 7th year. I started out in Denver public schools at a very small school called High Tech Early College. I then got a job in Aurora Public Schools at Vista Peak Prep. And then after just a year of that, I landed what I considered to be my dream job coming here to Mountain Vista. I wanted to be in a school with so many activities and just really high-performing students. When I landed this job, I knew I was going to like it, and I have liked it very much for the past 4 years. And I'm excited to be starting my 5th year here at Mountain Vista. So here at Mountain Vista, I coach a math team that meets every week, and we compete in competitions held across the state. Obviously, our competitions are on hold for right now, but we're going to still see what we can do this semester to stay together as a club. I've also coached lacrosse every year I've been here at Mountain Vista. For 2 years, I was the head coach of the 3rd level team, and the 2 more recent years, I've been just an assistant coach. Excited for this, hoping we can still do a lot and still have a season in the spring, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. At the start of the quarantine, I got a golden retriever puppy. We named him Cannoli. Here's some pictures of him. He's super adorable. It's been really fun to train and taking lots of walks. I'm very sad to be leaving him at home to come back to school, but I'm excited to be back at the same time. All right, at the end of the summer, my fiance and I bought a house. Here's a picture of us in front of it. This is the first time I've ever owned a house, so I'm really excited to start remodeling and get into all of the stuff that goes along with owning a house. And I'll be sharing that with you guys throughout the year. There is a shocking amount of math when it comes to buying a house and remodeling a house. And every time I see something that applies to class, I plan on sharing it with you guys so I can be giving you lots of good real world advice and ways to apply the math that I'll be teaching. All right, so I put this slide in here just to say that I'm very excited to be returning to Mountain Vista and for the privilege of teaching you all. We're going to make it a great year, especially if we work hard, and I promise that you guys will learn a lot. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy year. It's definitely going to be challenging, but I'm still excited for it. I still think that you guys can learn a lot and we can accomplish a lot, and that this whole year will be just an interesting footnote in your story, and you'll forget about some of the difficulties very quickly and hopefully still have some good memories to hang on to from this year. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of this class. Here I've got a little table showing you what a typical week could look like. So with the AB schedule, you'll be coming to class one day, either Monday or Tuesday, and then doing online stuff on the alternating day. My goal is that for the in-person class, you will have already watched the lecture by the time you get there. So that means working ahead a little bit. But there will be something posted on Canvas for you to watch, and that counts as your homework. So this is taking the place of like paper assignments for homework. Now you're watching the lecture as your homework. And then when we're in class, we're going to be practicing, like what you used to do for homework, was when you would work on worksheets and practice, and that was your homework. Now that's what we're doing in class. On the off day, there's going to be a short assignment posted on Canvas with something for you to do, but it shouldn't take more than a few minutes. It can either be like a survey or a short assignment. One thing I've got scheduled is a pre-test that I'm going to give on the off day, and that's in the first week, and that's just for you to kind of show me what you already know, but I don't want it to be stressful at all. It's just going to be a completion grade in the grade book. Fridays are a little bit different. I still am going to post a lecture video, and you're still expected to watch it before we meet. But when we meet, it's going to be in the form of a Google Hangout, and I'm not going to be lecturing too much during those Google Hangouts. I mostly just want to get your guys' questions and then see if we have some time to play Jeopardy. I think if we can save some time every Friday to play a little bit of Jeopardy, that could be very fun. I'll just ask you guys some trivia questions. First one to type out the answer will get the points. Hopefully it works well. So here's what my class will look like on Canvas. I'm breaking up the different class periods into modules and posting only what you need to do. So if you see anything here, you have to do it. There's no optional stuff posted on Canvas. All right, so for a typical day, you'll see a lecture and something for the off day. All right, but I'm still going to make all those optional things available to you, but I'm putting it on a separate calendar that is only linked to on Canvas. So if you go find this calendar linked to on Canvas, you can see all the extra stuff. You can go review these PowerPoints without me talking over them. You can just look at the slides. You can go look at the worksheets. You can try some of these extra practice links. And these extra practice links later on in the course is going to be how you can get some extra points, but I'll talk more about that after we've taken our first quiz, or actually after we've taken our first test. And then you'll see the worksheets, and then there's a separate video where I go over just the worksheet from class. This is not required, this is just an optional video. If you're not understanding something, or if you miss a day, that's going to be super helpful for you. All right, the very first quiz is going to be immediately after Labor Day, and I call it the Speaking the Language of Math quiz. So I want to let you know that now. You can put on your planner. Let's be looking ahead to that as our first opportunity to show what you're learning these first couple of weeks. All right, here is the grade breakdown. Tests and projects are 50% of your grade, and that's going to be mostly tests. If we can get a few projects done on our in-class days, our in-person days, we'll put them in that category. But that is the bulk of your grade right there. Quizzes are 20%, so together that's 70% of your grade are those assessments. Homework is 10%, so when you don't turn in your homework, it doesn't lower your grade very much, only 10%. But the thing is, not turning in your homework is going to make you do very poorly on the tests and the quizzes, and then your grade's going to go a whole lot. So if you miss a homework, it doesn't impact your grade too much, but it will show up on the tests and quizzes. And I'm going to be very lenient on accepting late work because, again, it's only 10%. I just want you to get this done. I want you to get that 10% and then show me what you know on these tests and quizzes. The final will be 20%. And because this is a shortened semester, the final is going to be also your unit test for the last unit, but it will have a few questions from all of the units as well. All right, so retakes, I don't allow retakes in general. Normally, I want you to get points back when you do poorly on a test or a quiz, but I have you do it some other way other than just retaking that quiz. I try and find a different way for you to show me that you understand what I've been teaching. And a big way is by having you do the extra practice on the calendar. But I'll talk more about that after our first test. We're going to be taking our tests and quizzes in class. If I suspect that you are cheating, I'm going to make you take it again. If I know that you cheated, then I'm just going to give you a 0. So don't cheat. It'll either cause you to have to take an assessment again or just get a 0 if I'm certain that you cheated of another student. All right, late work. Again, I said this before, I'm going to be very lenient on accepting late work. Generally, I want it by the unit test, but so that gives you a lot of time to turn in things late, and I will be staying on you guys if I see things are missing past their due date to get those in. I want absolutely everything turned in. All right, supplies. The big one is to start bringing a 3-ring binder to this class. We're going to put a section in there for these special kind of notes called step-by-step binder notes. I want you to have that with you every day in class. The one reason is that I allow you to use those step-by-step notes on tests and quizzes. So you got to have it with you so you can be using it for everything, and you'll be ready to use it on a test and quiz if you get stuck. Everything else is pretty standard. A notebook for just notes on the board, and other notes that are not our step-by-step notes. You could also just do some lined paper in your 3-ring binder that's in a different section than the step-by-step binder section. Start bringing a calculator. Use the same calculator every time so you can get to know how to use it. It doesn't have to be a fancy calculator, just a calculator that you like and know how to use. And then pencils, erasers, optional ruler, highlighters, colored pens, and loose leaf graph paper. Those are all pretty self-explanatory. All right, I'm not going to click on this link, but you should go find this PowerPoint and click on this because I made a very funny video where I tried to mimic this Parks and Rec scene. It goes over my class rules. You should go watch it if you want to laugh. My class rules are very basic. It's just respect yourself, respect each other, respect Mr. Olson, and respect Mountain Vista. If you're doing all 4 of those, then you're generally good. But here's a few specific things I want to narrow in on. One is don't distract yourself or others with a cell phone, and do not put in earbuds during this class. I will tell you very clearly when earbuds are allowed, and for the most of the time, they are not. don't copy other students' worksheets. I never want to see you just copying something just to get it done. If another student has something finished, you can ask them to explain it to you, but I don't want to ever see you just directly copying anything. All right, if you make a mess, clean it up. No food or drinks other than water, and wear a mask. Fortunately, out here in the temps, we're going to have very good ventilation in the classroom. I can keep the windows open, and it's very easy for you to just step outside the door if you ever need to get some fresh air. Just ask me first, and I'll let you go stand on the ramp to the classroom and get some fresh air, and then come back in. But while you're in, you need to have a mask on. It's got to cover your nose and your mouth. I'll be doing that as well. I will always have a mask on when I'm in this class. All right, a little brain teaser to end this lesson with. Can you draw this shape without lifting your pencil or retracing any lines? Can it be done? Try it, see if you can do it. All right, that's that for this lecture video. Have a good rest of your day.